welcome to the dedication of the Dudley Hall and Lambertus Hall, which are the gateway to the Purdue Polytechnic and the College of Engineering. My name is Daniel Castro. I'm the Dean of the Purdue Polytechnic Institute. And it's my pleasure not only to welcome you, but to recognize all the people and the organizations that made this incredible facility a reality. First, if I could ask the following distinguished guests to stand and be recognized. Members of the Board of Trustees, Indiana government officials, you can remain standing, we can applaud a bit. You need some recognition. Indiana government officials, our president, Mr. Mung Chiang, our president emeritus, I saw him a few minutes ago, Mitch Daniels. Our provost, Patrick Wolf. All vice presidents, please stand up. And all deans, stand up. Thank you for your support. Not only this support, the past support, present support, and future support. For ensuring that our students and faculty have inspiring resources like this to help them be successful. The generosity of our donors is overwhelming. It's out of this world, like the astronauts, right? Purdue cannot deliver world-class instruction in world-class facilities like this at such affordable prices without this generosity. Very special thanks go to our lead donors, Bill Dudley, Marty Dudley, and Peter and Ann Lambertus. Thank you for your enormous investments. Again, thank you for your enormous investments in our future and the future of thousands of students. Likewise, we have several namespaces throughout the facility, again, made possible by the generosity of so many people and organizations, many of whom are here today. I would like to ask all namespace donors to stand and be recognized. Let me also recognize representatives of the Lilly Endowment and ask them to stand. Thank you for your trust in the university and in our two colleges. We are committed to ensuring your extraordinary $40 million gift, which is an unprecedented signal of trust in us. Is well spent to propel additional giant leaps at Purdue and within Indiana. Thank you very much. So, as a civil engineer and as a faculty member in the School of Construction Management Technology, I feel at home in this state-of-the-art construction lab you can see now, you are now. Throughout the week, when we are not hosting a dedication ceremony like today, several structures are in various stages here. You can see one there at the back. Sometimes it's steel, sometimes it's timber, sometimes it's masonry, or even concrete. Or it's dirty concrete, so you have to keep it clean. The students from all year groups are able to simultaneously learn from multiple instructors and from other students. It offers instructional possibilities never before enjoyed here at Purdue. And it's not alone. Dudley Hall and Lambertus Hall now house unique instructional and research labs, large and small. And I invite you to take a tour to get a sense of the breadth of activities taking place in this facility. I know our Polytechnic faculty, staff, and students are proud to work and learn here. I also believe this facility marks a major inflection point for the Polytechnic, and I'm very optimistic about what our future holds. I'm also thrilled about partnering with and sharing this facility with the College of Engineering. There will be a lot of collaboration opportunities among faculty and students. Collaboration that I wish existed when I was an engineering student here 20 years ago. Now, I would like to introduce you to Dean Arvind Raman, the John A. Edwardson Dean of the College of Engineering. He was ratified this morning by the Board of Trustees.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's exciting to see all of you here today. I think what really excites me about this space is it's much more than a physical space. It, I think, is really the crucible of innovation that we need for the 21st century. The first point here is that we have two colleges, College of Engineering, Purdue Polytechnic Institute. These are two of the largest STEM colleges in the nation, if not in the world. And yet we're able to bring them together in one physical space. What comes of bringing two disciplines together in a common physical space clearly shows that we are much greater than the sum of our parts. It's a 1 + 1 equal to much more than 2, I assure you. This is where, in the Dudley Lambertus Halls, that we're going to see students from both the disciplines who are working on projects together, who are going to bump into each other, who are going to meet each other in the cafeteria. They're going to talk to each other. They're going to partner with each other. They're going to start up companies together. All that kind of innovation that comes from bringing disciplines together in one physical space, it's going to happen right here. I'm really excited for it. Faculty bumping into each other, going after major innovations to address the challenges of the world. That innovation is going to happen here. The second thing I'm really excited about is the nature of the space here is unique. It's going to define the future of technology and engineering education. Both the colleges really emphasize hands-on experiential learning, but traditionally this has happened sort of in silos. Student teams are perhaps sitting in a space, they're designing something together, they go to a weld shop, do something there, and then they might do a place for testing, characterization, separate spaces. But here, you'll see the future where large spaces exist like this, and students will be able to see end-to-end every part of a manufacturing and design process. They'll get to see the big picture of what it's going to be like really in the real world when they graduate and go from here. So I'm really excited for that. The third thing I'm really excited about is one example of such spaces is the Built to Scale Lab. This belongs and is run by the School of Industrial Engineering, and as I was learning about it, I really thought, my goodness, this is amazing, the kind of innovation we want to see. If you haven't seen it, after the reception, I invite all of you to go see it. But it's a huge space. It's not finished yet, it's in phase 1, but when it finishes, it's going to be nothing less than the factory of the future. Imagine Industry 4.0. Imagine robots working autonomously, cobots, manufacturing, fully automated. Students are actually going to be designing all the different parts for production, full-scale production of such complete end-to-end manufacturing systems. And then on top of it, they're going to go up to the 3rd floor on the LearnIt lab, collect all the data, apply artificial intelligence, and figure out how do you make this much more efficient? How do you make this a lot more productive in real settings like that? And so when you walk through that space, I encourage you to think about what the future would look like when generations of students will be working in a space where it's all about the factories of the future and automating that future for humanity. Without further ado, I'm really privileged now to introduce our president of this great university, Professor Mung Chiang.
Well, thank you, Arvind. A much better John A. Edwardson Dean of College of Engineering than the one before. Not Mark Lundstrom, I meant the other fellow before Mark. Well, one brick higher. Look at this facility. Look around you here. This is incredible facility here today. Since Arvind mentioned 3 points, I'll try to echo with 3 points as well. The first is some of the significance of the Gateway Complex, the Dudley Hall and the Lambertus Hall. On the outside, this complex defines and redefines a new entrance to our beautiful Purdue West Lafayette campus. And on the inside, facilities like the one we are residing right now, and many floors and square footage of similar active learning facilities give our students today and tomorrow brand new learning opportunities. The student success organizations, the faculty and advisor offices, and also the Hoosier Hot Corners, where Indiana-based companies will be able to showcase their future technologies and recruit their future employees for brain gain right here in our state. That's the significance outside and inside of this facility. Now, I do remember 5, 6 years ago, when I first got here, I was walking around with Robert Frosch. We bumped into Abby Dutchman, head of industrial engineering at that time, and we were walking by what was known as the MGL, Michael Golden Lab. Raise your hand if you remember that name. Well, they say, well, MGL has been here for about 100 years or so. We don't know exactly how many years. It's been here for a while. When I was a student here 40 years ago, we thought it's going to be demolished next year. It's still there, and it's functioning, but it's not the best use of the land anymore. And then we had the nuclear engineering building. How many of you remember that nuclear engineering building here? Another one on the top floor right now of this magnificent facility. And we looked around and thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could redevelop this beautiful part of the campus? So the 2 deans back then, one really good one leading up PPI, and the other fellow, they got together and they saw the opportunity of collaboration between 2 different colleges, but with so much shared interest in student access and success, so much shared interest in excellence at scale. The rest is history. We make phone calls. Well, I know that your names are going to be mentioned many, many times this afternoon, but I cannot skip the privilege to thank Bill Dudley, Marty Dudley, Peter and Ann Lambertus. Thank you so much. I remember getting together over lunch in a very humid, hot Bostonian September day when I first met Ann and Peter. I remember, of course, Bill Dudley and Marty Dudley. We had many conversations by then already, and I was making this phone call to Bill at that time. I remember exactly when and where when you said yes. And of course, deep appreciation, as in this, as in many other endeavors we take at Purdue, to the great Lilly Endowment. Thank you, Janet, to you and your endowment. And thanks to all the taxpayers. Despite the low tax rate, still, you are the taxpayers of the state of Indiana, and the General Assembly 4 years ago at their biennium allocation, they approved the funding, and then along with many other individuals, companies, and foundations that provided support to us since then. So thank you. My third and last message is a message of disbelief that despite COVID-19, despite supply chain challenges, despite the rapid rise of the construction cost, the cost of steel, the cost of labor, this Gateway Complex was built on time and on budget. It's arguably not only the largest and most beautiful facility academic-wise on campus, it's also the first major teaching learning facility post-COVID-19. And people ask me, so, did you double the price you have to pay? I said, nope. It actually came under by a tiny bit, which turned into the ability to beautify the facility outside to provide this wonderful entrance to this part of campus. Now, on time, on budget meant that it actually opened on December 15th as planned, 3 years ahead. And you would remember that December 15th, even though it wasn't the best day to do dedication event perhaps, was the date when we had a great university president. And it's such a special pleasure for me to exercise my power to change the schedule today and to bring to all of you a special guest, to bring all of you the Mitch behind the Daniels decade, the Mitch that advocated for, approved, and oversaw the completion and the operation of the Dudley Hall and Lambertus Hall. The Mitch that's always produced hero, my hero, Mitch Daniels.
Mung, if nobody told you, I don't approve your salary anymore. Mung is already on his way to being a spectacular president for this university and nationally the finest one available anywhere, but he still has a couple things to learn, obviously. One of them is, I would never have tampered with one of Lance Connolly's agendas. But since you did, let me just say, in the briefest fashions, why I'm a little emotional about today. Everything that's been said, of course, is accurate and probably understated about the value and the breakthrough characteristics of this building. But when I was looking ahead to today, I was reflecting back over many, many years, and it may not be as clear to everyone here as maybe it should be. What this really represents, it's a convergence, it's a confluence of at least two major moves forward that Purdue has made over recent years. One is the constant improvement, both expansion, but also elevation of quality of its STEM disciplines. This was led by a spectacular Dean of Engineering on the engineering college side, along with his colleagues, and in what I consider one of the finest examples I am aware of anywhere of academic leadership. Change in academia is not easy. It's not natural. But what Gary Bertolini and his colleagues did in transforming, an overused word but applicable here, transforming the College of Technology to what we now know as the Purdue Polytechnic Institute, was a genuine achievement of academic progress and reform of the kind that everyone here should be very, very proud of. And it brought that college to a level where it was fully ready to be a full partner with engineering. And so those two threads of improvement come together today in a spirit of collaboration, and that's the second change that is so obvious to me, maybe to most of you, that higher ed suffers chronically from segmentation and from separation and from a reluctance to share and to learn from each other and so forth. And here we have two of the nation's finest sub-institutions in the scientific and technological space coming together. So we're coming together, they're coming together physically here, but also in spirit, in a way that no one here should take for granted. It could never have happened 10 years ago before the leadership that Mung and Gary and all their colleagues have brought to Purdue. So I just want to say how overwhelmingly important I think it is. Thanks, of course, to Bill and Marty and to Pete and Ann and of course our friends from the endowment, and everyone else who made it possible. I hope you understand how revolutionary this achievement of yours is. And it today is perhaps the single longest step among so many in Purdue's steady march to the leadership position in public education in America. Thank you all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are excited to take our next giant leap in STEM innovation. With that, please welcome to the stage our lead donors, Bill Dudley, Marty Dudley, Peter and Ann Lambertus, and Jeanette Hill, President of Lilly Endowment Incorporated, and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mike Berghoff.
With you.